Now, how new lending terms are being introduced to the protocol? Using the governance. Okay, so we have this contract called lending term onboarding, which basically means that not any, but guild token holders, the governance token holders, can propose a new lending term to the protocol, right? So I want to propose so that someone can deposit RAP BTC, and for every RAP BTC that he deposits, he can borrow 20,000 GUSDC tokens. I can do that if I have guild tokens. I can make a proposal over here. I can go here to create term. The implementation is this smart contract, this one, lending term.sol, and it should be in whitelist of implementations. So this is another thing, like as you can see here, I added here audit. Okay, what if I will put a malicious implementation? No, it needs to be here in the mapping of implementations. You cannot just pass any arbitrary address. And here are the params. So these params are the exact same params that we see over here in the struct. We set them here when we basically create a new term. Once we created a new term, we are proposing it. So this propose is basically disabled because they are inheriting the OpenZeppelin governance smart contract. So they had to override this one. They prepared this one instead, propose on board, which is like dedicated to the specific proposal to announce a new lending term. So I will go back to the diagrams. It will be easier to understand. As you can see over here. So first you call, I think I did it. First you call create term, basically. Then we call propose on board. Okay, and if you got enough votes, which means that a lot of guild token holders support these proposals and they want this lending term, then that's what happens. This proposal is being prepared, as you can see, and this proposal is actually creating this contract is actually gonna onboard this new lending term to the protocol, and then people can use it and they can basically start using it, right? But that's not enough, because if you remember this diagram that I drew when I read the docs, you have 2 days to vote on the proposal. Now let's assume that it passed, which means that 1% of the guild supply need to vote for it. 10 million guild token holders need to vote for it. Not holders, but need to vote, like 10 million guild vote yes. Then you have 1 day of veto. What does veto means? Maybe there are another 10 million guild holders that don't want this lending term. They can veto your proposal. So if I don't like this lending term, I can just create a veto. So during this 1 day, this new proposal goes to a time lock. It's not going to be added automatically. It's going to be here inside guild time lock controller. So it's like an action that was passed. It passed this initial voting, but it's not executed yet because we need to wait 1 more day to see if someone wants to veto this proposal, right? Makes sense. So it's going to be added to the time lock of 1 day. And then we have this contract that's called Guild Veto Governor, where people can create proposal to veto pending lending terms. So once it's in the time lock, we can create another veto proposal to say, we don't want this lending term. We want to remove it from the time lock. And that's exactly what it does. So we can create a new veto. And if we have enough votes, 10 million votes, 1% of the supply, you can see what happens. The veto is simply just, let's see where it is, get veto calls. It just to remove, as you can see, cancel the operation from the time lock contract. So if the veto passed, we just remove it from the time lock contract, and this onboarding is gonna go to trash, this onboarding proposal. So lending term onboarding